I am open to kids.
Yeah.
And then something down the road changes, or we have a kid,
like,
and you resent that, and you resent your child, you resent me for...
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Clear Hair. We are talking about episodes 7 through 9, and we're going to go couple by couple, 5 minutes each, and I'll have my overall review for this season at the end of the video. So we're gonna go in with Emma and Mike. So Emma and Mike are the couple that I want to say he's Italian because we end up meeting his family, and then Emma is a Chinese adoptee from what she said. She had cancerous scars around her body, and she had potential for melanoma, so they had to do a skin graft to remove everything. Just lamenting on that because you're gonna need that fact. So episode 7, they start talking about their different quirks, and they're talking about pretty much their pet peeves of like what they do, because she feels like he's not organized, they feel like she's not organized. So to me, it really shows that like once the magic's out the way, you start really seeing like, can I be with this person all day? And that's a very big thing, because my thing is I get annoyed very easily. I know I'm walking the walk with the Lord, but most humans annoy me because they're so selfish. Okay, but anyway, the topic of having kids gets brought up again, and he was Mike was saying how like he opened up social media, and yeah, another one of his friends, while he was there, they're having kids as well. And he was just like, I thought I could possibly not do it, but like now I see everybody else doing, like I want that for myself. And we have to be very diligent about social media. Social media shows the good perks. Like I've babysat a baby before, and all those pictures of y'all, oh so cute. That's just 2 minutes of heaven. You're in heck for the rest, the 98% of the time. They cry on command, like. But I get where he's coming from. Like, you kind of feel like you're behind in a way, so I get where he's coming from. So episode 8. We end up meeting Mike's family, and this Mike's family and his mom and dad, they don't believe in divorce. So, there's that, let's not, like, there's that pressure there. And then of course, like she said, yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on kids. And I promise you, someone said, put the pasta dough down. Like it was quiet. It was so quiet. Cause they all kind of froze, because it's just like, I feel like tradition, but I also feel like with his personality, I feel like Mike has lamented on several different times that he wants to be a father, he wants to be in it and all that. And so, me and the family, and they're very welcoming, just a little intense at first, but they're very welcoming. They said, do you cook? I was like, she's such an Italian mother. The first thing she said is, do you cook? I don't want my son stopped. Okay, so that's pretty much episode 8. So episode 9 with Mike and Emma, basically they end up meeting Emma's family, and it turns out that she has 2 older sisters, and she was adoptee, and while the other 2 were out of the house, like she pretty much like their only child, which I was like, I can kind of see why she says she's selfish, because she's never had to share before. I have 4 siblings. Like my generosity exceeds my mind sometimes, because I'm used to sharing everything. At you, here's your half of the sneeze. Like I literally am used to sharing. I'm used to sharing everything, so that might be why I'm super generous. Because people's like, Claire, you need to scale back. Be mean to these people, Anyways, but now this is a very important part, is when Emma's sister started going off about how, like, if I could choose whether or not to have kids, yes or no, if I could look back, I would say no. And she's like, I love my kids, but I would say no. And I'm just like, why is she wild like this? And then we come to meet her kid. Her kids are 5 and 2. Listen, as someone who's been taking care of my niece, you better not be watching this video. You better be at work. You better be at school. But as someone who's been taking care of my niece happily since she was born, under 5, they some boogers. Okay, so I get why she was going. I was like, why she seems so? She's like, oh my goodness, if I could choose, I was like, and then they bring the kids out after. I was like, I know the 2-year-old's like, F me, huh? Like, but under 5, she's once they start getting independent, like my niece is like 7, 8, like she's a dream. Okay, and she's a dream. But under 5, I was like, this Mother's Day, like, take the kids, turn her phone off, and just ignore these people for 48 hours. You'll be okay. But ends up talking. Basically, she just ends up again, and she's saying how, like, hey, like with my scars, I don't want to pass them on. Which, like I said, I get it, but it is a recessive gene. You can always do genetic testing to see if you can truly make it, because you don't want to look back and say fear kept me from doing anything. That could be having a baby, getting married, starting content, like changing jobs. You don't want to let you, because when it's time for you to go, you don't want to look back and say that you feared anything. Okay. So, I have on here Devonta and Brittany. So this is on episode 7. So Devonta and Brittany, Brittany starts going off and saying, "Hey, Devonta, you should have just stayed behind if you're still grieving your grandpa." So I think the grandpa thing is a cop out, because if you was truly missing your late grandpa, you would have left the show when the show was going on. At the end of the day, I feel like with her saying, "Hey, it's been 2 days, no response," and my thing is just that I love my women, which, like I said, I have this whole thing set up for Women's Month next month. I really hope y'all listen, but I have 1 week where we're talking about relationships, and y'all have to listen to what these men are saying to you. To me, you can't sit here, get married to someone like that, and then when it's time to have kids, you're just like, he's just so unresponsive. He's previewing you. No offense, but men are not as deceitful as we are, all right? They're liars, but they're not deceitful. Liars mean they're just lying for no reason. All right. Deceitful means there is a schematic. Like, they're not as schematic as we are. At the end of the day, they're very obvious about their intentions. This is not a person you should marry when he thinks that because you are either out of his league or he felt like you didn't like him at first, and now he's punishing you, like a triangulation of punishment to you by making it sound like he doesn't like you. 2 days you don't speak to me, baby. You better start speaking soon, or I'm gonna start speaking to somebody else. You better, that's what I said. I've never had that problem, but I also run a tight ship. Anyways, on to episode 8 with Devonta and Brittany. So we end up meeting Brittany's parents, which they are adorable. Like, I feel like they would do bachata. I don't know what music is central to Colombia, but like, I feel like it would be like they just feel so fun. And so basically Devonta and Brittany's dad have a really good moment where he's just like, "Hey, I'm handing over the reins. Like, I want to make sure you can take care of my daughter." And I really thought that was sweet, because it's just like, I don't think men are doing that anymore. Like, no, y'all don't care who end up with y'all kid. Y'all don't care. I was like, y'all don't care. Yeah, I was like, at the end of the day, like, y'all don't care who end up with y'all kid. Like, y'all not really putting pressure on people because you don't want to get canceled. You don't feel like you're being forced. So I was like, you should be protective of your child, because my thing is, as a parent, I'm not one, but I would say in the mindset of a parent, you need to have it where, as a mindset of a parent, you need to have it where they should be able to do life without you one day. And if you're not questioning, if you're not asking questions and truly being, just very present in who's going to be in their life, even from friends, like you need to be very adamant about who is in this person's life. Okay, you need to be very adamant about that. And I feel like that's a very good thing that his dad did. But at the end, episode 9, Brittany and Devonta, basically Brittany was saying how she's feeling insecure because like his communication skills. And once again, Brittany, my love, my heart, mi amor, mi corazón, let me tell you something. Amor, let me tell you something. When somebody shows you that they do not care that they are hurting you, do not give them more access. Like, do not give them more access. Do not give them more access. To me, my process is I forgive, I forget. As in, I'm going to forget you. Like, you will never see me again. And I'm really good at disappearing. So I feel like with Devonta, he has some internal issues that he has to work out, because my thing is just that if he's going to sit here and use grief, like I said, his grandpa passing away was, that's like so frustrating, because sometimes, especially for millennials, grandparents were the parents, no offense, quite as a cat, but so I can only imagine that bond. But if you're feeling that, you need to say that. You don't sit here and use affection, like, especially because my love language is physical touch. Like, I feel like if you're purposely withholding physical touch because that's my weakness, we're just gonna have a problem. And I don't do well when I have a problem. Okay. So I don't know. I really wanted to work on that, but I'll tell you about my grade later on, or whether or not it's a yes or a no for who I feel like is going to truly get married. But I do feel like Devonta also has some racial identity issues as well, with him saying, "Oh, I never dated a person of color." And I do think about the fact that I don't know if he resonates with the fact that he is a person of color. Your hair look like mine, like, I don't know if he's resonating with that. And I just don't want, like, let's say they do proceed to get married and proceed to get married and have children. Like, I do not want him getting his getting that mindset and putting it onto the children. Okay, I don't want him to do that because a lot of people end up doing that where like they're still not at peace with how they look like and they bring it onto the children. So the next one is Vic and Christine. I'm sorry, are they part of the show? Because I have them at the end because I don't really have a lot to say about them. I don't really think that they're part of the show. Like, I don't know anything about them. So anyways, the beginning of the episode for episode 7 with Vic and Christine, I say our guest stars, Vic and Christine, they end up meeting Christine's mom, and her mom is so like the mom is so sweet. Like, I can just tell, and then this is very important. Vic is hot. I was like, excuse me, Mama Christine, you are correct. She's such a sweetie. She's just a sweet. But I feel like she was talking about how like Christine's father was a what she said, a poopy head or crappy one or whatever, and like how there is that friction there, you know, of whether or not Christine has forgiven that. But I mean, no offense, but not our generation, millennial and Gen Z's dad, shout out to y'all for changing the game. Y'all are the most active male, most active father percentage in history. Congrats. Clap it up. All right. I know you're supposed to be doing it, but it was at 0 and it is now at almost 60%. These fathers are actually want to be fathers. So y'all are my heroes. Okay. Thank you for changing the next generation. So it was not uncommon for somebody to have an issue with their dad, you know, back in the day. So definitely like with her saying, I don't know if I forgive him. As long as you don't let it interfere in your day-to-day things, I feel like her not forgiving her dad is fine for now, but it's definitely going to be a thing that you need to work on. So episode 8, Vic and Christine. So they're walking around and they're just like, they're exploring or whatever. And they're exploring like her own town, blah, blah. And so they start talking about like babies or whatever. And Christine was like, are you okay with me being are you okay with me being the mother of, you know, black kid, like your black kids and this and other, blah, blah. And my thing is, when it comes to that, it's kind of tipsy-turvy because like with Vic being, no offense, of a caramel hue and she is of a different demographic, like, I'm not saying anything, but like they're not going to have to deal with as much vitriol as is Zendaya. Like, their kid's going to be way brighter than that, you know. I'm not saying we're going to do Punnett Squares at 12, but I'm just saying, like, the struggle there is going to be a little bit, but it's not like she has, like, the features. Like, I had, when I did the modeling show in my early 20s, and it was for Japan, and one of the models, like, she's Japanese and black, and she looks Japanese, but her hair looks like we have the same afro. You feel me? And I can only imagine growing up how that felt. Like, she probably felt pressure to straighten her hair, this and other. Like, their kids' hair is going to be straight, you know? So, like, not to minimize their journey, but I get where Christine's coming from, but their relationship is so pure. I forgot they were different races. Like, I really did. I really forgot. And I don't know, like, I don't see color. No, I really forgot because they just fit. Pathologist and a professor. This kid's gonna be so eloquently spoken, okay? So eloquently spoken. So we're on season 10, episode 9, and so they come to the party and everybody's just like, yeah, I was like, good, because I didn't know they was part of this cast or not. Like, I don't really feel like they're part of this cast. I don't feel like they're part of this cast. I don't at all. I don't know if it's the filming, like they weren't in Mexico. Like, I don't want to go digging through Reddit because I don't want any secrets to come out because y'all have more time than me. But I don't want any secrets to come out, but I need to know why I feel like they're filming a different season. Like we're watching season 10, episode 9. They're like season 10 and a half or season 9 and a half or season 9.75. I don't feel like they're in the same season. I really like them together. I don't think they're going to have a problem. Like, they're going to be that one couple that they're just married for a very long time. And their kids are going to be eloquently spoken. I feel like they're going to be private after the show. I don't know. I just kind of give it like after, they're going to be like, all right, I got my partner. Amen. You know, like, I feel like it's going to be quiet after the show. So, I really like the fact that they're both in the faith, and they're both in the faith as well. So they're going to be able to have that truly covenant. Because people think that getting married is the covenant. It is not. You have to truly sit there and say, Lord, I want you in this marriage. Now the covenant's formed, okay? But truly formed. That's why they say a name drop, right? Okay. But yeah, it is kind of weird that they're kind of like thrown off to the side. Is it? I know that they're not toxic at all, but like we don't know nothing about this couple. But it's enough for me. So conclusion. There was Kevin and Kia was there, but I was expecting to see Tyler, but she wasn't there, so it was just kind of a waste of storyline. Like it was really a waste of storyline. I'll put that video for y'all, but no one cared. Like no one cared. Overall, and then like a little side note too, Priyanka. Alex knows Priyanka. She's in her friend group, and he was just like, hey, I wanted her to have the full experience, so I didn't want to say anything, which I thought that was very, very, very cool of him, and that really showed that he was truly trying to get the most out of the experience, even though Alex is a red flag. But I do like the fact that he didn't say anything, because one thing about men, especially with me, I don't want to toot my own horn, but you know, I'm not too hard to look at, but men have a tendency to extend what took place. Me and Claire was talking. I asked you for directions. Stop. Anyways, so overall, who I think is gonna make it, who I'm not gonna make. Let's start with the no's and end up with the yeses. Coming in at number no is Jess and Chris. Well, they already broke up. I feel like the reason why they're not gonna work is they were never going to work. I have them as maybe is because when it comes to older and younger, especially someone like Chris is not one of those old souls. Like if people don't know this, Lauren is older than Cameron, right? And people don't know, it's not by much, but people don't know this because he's so mature that you're just like, oh, I thought he was the older one, you know? But Chris is not Cameron. Chris is definitely very much a little boy. And with him saying, oh, I want a girl who does Pilates and works out every day, I was just like, well, I do not do Pilates every day. I do not work out every day. I have a crazy nutrition schedule. And I'm also almost 6 feet tall. So it's a little hard for me to actually hold on to calories. So you gonna kick me out too? So you're gonna kick me out too? Like he's saying that I need a girl. I was like, you don't even know, Pilates weren't even a thing until about 2-3 years back. So how are you determining who you like? At the end of the day, you met one of those girls. They hyped your head up because you haven't been hyped up in a while. Because Jess actually loves you. You want somebody who's in lust with you, so they can hype you up. It's very simple. And then with Jess being a doctor, I get why she's single at 38 because a lot of men do want kids. I didn't say to take care of them. So that 40% that does not care about taking care of their kids, but definitely for sure, being able to be in that space was really good for her because now I feel like Jess is gonna get her man for sure. Chris is gonna get more vitriol from the internet as he should, but definitely for sure, no. The next no is what have I on here? The next no on here is Devonta and Brittany. Now, I know you're going to sit here and say, what? They didn't have no obvious red flags. Like, Devonta and Brittany are not going to last because Brittany is a person who has physical touch. I'm a physical touch type person too. Like, my thing is that if I don't have physical touch from you, I'm out. I'm out. And it's not always, you know, I'm coming from a simple hug, a simple nose rub, or a simple, hey, or a rub on the, like, you don't touch me at all. Why are you here, Casper? Casper can't touch humans either. Like, why are you even here? That's a no. But that's gonna build up. And I feel like Devonta is just overall insecure. And that's why I said you have to find identity within yourself and truly stick by it. He's a no. Jordan and Amber, these people are no as well. I just feel in my heart of hearts that the fact that you haven't met her daughter, she's still not comfortable with you meeting her kid. It's 2 weeks. It's 14 days and you still have not met her daughter. Red flag. There's something that she doesn't trust about you as she should. She's a mama. It makes sense. Our next no is Ashley and Alex. I just feel like with him talking to his ex and still smashing her after she cheated on him is crazy talk. You flew from Ohio to, somebody go in the comments, look at a flight from Ohio to Austin, Texas, and you tell me if this man is over this girl or not. She cheated on you and you flew all the way, you flew across miles? You flew on a plane for that? She never liked you a day in your life and she's still playing you. So Ashley is just gonna continue being good looking. I don't know what her future is because that dad is definitely gonna leave, like, no. The next no is gonna be basically everybody's a no. The next no is gonna be Bree and Connor. Breezy is very, very, very much still insecure because someone like Chris would have got dust from me. Hey, how good is he? As good as your dad was. Like, you don't come in from like, but I'm sarcastic. I don't know. God is working on me. But Me with Brie and Connor, like she's still insecure. And then Vic and Christine is gonna be a yes, and Emma and Mike is gonna be a maybe, because I feel like it's half and half. I feel like they could possibly work it out, but the kids thing is big, so it's gonna have to go whether or not. So I'm gonna put them as a maybe. But don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.